Got this cranked up. If I boost the treble, some pretty bad buzz, yeah. Pull the treble back, it's not too bad. The buzz reduces when I turn off the light, which is a dimmer switch. So you've got power going all the way up around the wall. Yeah, common problem. So what I've got here is grounding, I think. Watch this. Grounding issue. I've lined the cavity here with some copper insulation tape. Pick up cover here. Let's just check continuity to ground. All seems to be going to ground except from the rear pickup. Now I don't know if I run that in, is that going to ground it? No, there's nothing in there that's going to ground it. So I'm going to have to solder a little grounding wire to the bottom of there, because if I run there to there, so there is continuity between the ground there and the shielding, because underneath this pickup there's a ground stud. So the back plate is now shielded, cavity shielded, rolls up over the outside so that continuity with this plate, which goes on this way. So let's give it a continuity check, make sure I haven't missed anything. So this existing aluminium is now wired into this larger copper shield. This whole area should now be wired to ground. Yeah. All the metal. So that is the only thing that's not, so I still need to solder a little wire on here, but now I'm ready to do so. So just finished soldering. Let's check the continuity between the J-type pickup and the furthest extremity there. Yeah, got continuity. So let's check the resistance to the bridge, just under an ohm. To the back cavity, 0.6 ohms. To this end, 0.5 ohms, right next to each other, 0.4 ohms. To the screw there, not very much at all. So it's about the same resistance, to be honest, as it is over the cables. Slightly more with the shield. Let's get a better connection. 0.4, surrounding copper 0.4. It's as good as the wire. Okay, so yeah, it looks a little untidy around the edges. I will clean that up. I'm also going to do a full polish of the frets and treat the wood on the fingerboard. Giving the fretboard a bit of polish and treatment. So I'm just working through this. There's like 2 layers of this Jim Dunlop stuff. This is just the cleaning, and then I'll move on and do a deep treatment on them. Final thing I'll do is I'll polish these fret wires. Giving the frets a polish, I've got something that's a bit like a pencil eraser. I've wrapped this fret cloth around it, and I've just been buffing the frets. Should help with sustain and tone, clarity and stuff. Yeah, they're coming up nicely. Look, they weren't too bad to start with, you know, it's not an ancient base or anything, but yeah, but you can see some of the grub on there. Noise is a lot lower now. The only problem is, I think the grounding on the rear pickup. So there we go. It's a hum on here. So these J-type pickups are often noisy but maybe in reseating it I've affected the grounding. So I'm going to pull this out, give it another go. But the front pickup, sweet as a nut. Still get some buzz if you touch it, but touching some of the poles. But so it's not a perfect solution, but I do think it's slightly better. So I'm putting some strap locks on this base. Strap locks are just like little rubber gasket things. You can get them on a bottle of Grolsch and then you get to drink a bottle of Grolsch. If only one mine, I wouldn't recommend drinking any more than that. I don't want to be drunk. But there we go. And that helps the strap to stay on. It's much less likely to come off. You can get more sophisticated systems, but I've found that's always been plenty for me, even as I'm quite a mobile player as well. So I'm treating the nut with a very small amount of nut oil. Just putting the tiniest amount on this applicator. And what this is supposed to do is help with tuning. These actually look quite worn, strangely, and quite grubby, but putting a bit of that in there and trying to clean it up a bit as I go. And that helps with tuning. It helps with lubrication, so the strings are less likely to snap. There's a bit of scratch in this pot. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. I'll crank this amp up. Do you get some interference from my iPad, funnily enough, because the shielding's open? But hear that crackle? Put some contact cleaner in there. This is a 2-tier pot, and just sort of work it in. There we go. The buzz is off the rear pickup, which is something I'm looking to address, but crackle's just at the bottom end, isn't it? There we go. So basically the noise problem is pretty much, well, you never eliminate it completely on any base, but it's as good as solved on this pickup, the P-type split coil. Split coils are much better at humbucking, getting rid of hum, than these J-type inline ones for reasons that involve physics that I don't understand very well. What we in here, all the hookup wire is like unshielded. You can see these cables here. So I'm going to, as a last ditch thing, replace the cable that comes off this with this wire. This wire is quite special in that it is shielded. If I turn my multimeter into continuity mode, I can see that the outside of it has got continuity because it is conductive. So that goes to ground, meaning you've got a shield around the cable. So yeah, interference can't get in, because this bit here between the pickup and the body, it's threaded through the cavity of the guitar. Threaded through the cavity of the guitar here to here. So there's no real insulation there, so that is a source of noise. So I think replacing that green wire, don't need to do the yellow side because the P-type pickups are already humbucking, might give us some small improvement as well. Okay, we've got this shielded cable in now, and that is grounded to the faceplate as well. The ground comes all the way through to here. There's the hot wire. I've also wrapped the controls in electrical tape just in case anything touches against these pins on the bottom. So, hoping for big things. Pulled the battery out. 6.6 volts. Oh dear. Yeah, I didn't quite believe this battery tester. That was telling me, yeah, here where the string meets the body. I mean, I don't even need a feeler gauge for that. That needs some relief taking out, I think. I'm checking the neck relief. It's going to be hard to see. I've got really nowhere to put a camera, but just having a look. And midway through taking the action down, if we try to get a look at the one I've lowered, so I've lowered the E string. Now, the ones in the middle are always going to be slightly proud of the E and G strings, but look at the difference there. It's about 4 or 5 mil. So here they are. Try to get parallel with the fingerboard. So yeah, I'm bringing the G down as well. You can see that on the far end, but there's a curve on the fingerboard obviously because it's not a flat surface. So I'm trying to get this action lower so it's easy to play. There will be a little bit more buzz, but actually a lot of players like a little bit of snap in the sound. So I mean, it's up to the player really. But yeah, this bass is for someone who's relative beginner, so lower action is going to make it easier for her to play.